Alright, it's Steve back from Steve's Model Builds. And last video, I did the review and unboxing of the Atlas Silver Alco HH600-660. And I promised there'd be a bit of a surprise. I recently did the instructions review for the 1/48 scale Tamiya Spitfire Mark I. And first of all, I made a mistake, a small mistake. The Spitfire was never a seaplane, but it was manufactured by a company called Supermarine, which was formed in 1913. And throughout the First World War and through the 20s and 30s, they manufactured high-tech seaplanes, racing seaplanes, that broke records all over, left, right, and center. And so that's the pedigree. That's the company that makes the Spitfire. So I wanted to clear that up. Sorry if there was a mistake. I also want to apologize for the audio. I'm doing my best. I'm racking my brains trying to figure out how to improve it. And I'm really sorry if you watch one of my videos and you've got the volume turned up and an advertisement comes on and it blasts your ears. I'm really sorry. I'm really going to try and figure out how to solve that. In the meantime, again, back to the Spitfire instructions. If you saw the video and you're a beginner or a young person starting out in the hobby, I realized that the instructions are pretty intimidating. It's a fairly complex kit, even though it goes together simply step by step. For a beginner, it might seem intimidating and overwhelming. So it got me to thinking, and I had mentioned in scale before about how the 172 kits, they're smaller, so they're usually cheaper. They have less parts, and in most cases, they're easier to build. So they're a great way to get started in the hobby. You learn the basic skills, and you can painting, decaling, all that kind of stuff. So today was Saturday. I got up and I went out to my local hobby shop. We're lucky to have one here. Not every place has one. A lot of stuff is online, and the hobby shops that are around mostly do radio controlled stuff. That's where the money is these days. But anyways, in one corner of the store, it's a bunch of shelves and on the floor too. I call it the bargain bin. And I picked up these. This one and this one, $5, $4.99 Canadian plus tax. This one and this one, $9.99 plus tax. So I'll just go through each one briefly. This one's still sealed in the plastic, so I didn't open it. You see the price here, $9.99. How about that? Oddly enough, there's no manufacturer name, unless it's covered up by this sticker. There is a logo. Initially, I thought it was Aoshima, but I went on ScaleMates and I found out there's a Japanese company called Mania. But that's about all I could find out about them. Other than the few posts I could see, they're pretty good kits. I guess they went out of business or got absorbed by somebody like Tamiya or Aoshima or Hasegawa, one of those guys. So it's the Type 97 carrier attack bomber, nicknamed the Cape, and so I expect that'll be a fun build. Got all sorts of cool stuff here. gives you two versions. And so, yeah, you'll be seeing that in the future. We'll do an unboxing and a build on it. I'll still be doing the Spitfire build, but it's a much longer, more complex kit. And that'll be done, in parts, in stages. It won't just be one video. So it'll be, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. This kit, as you can see, is kind of bashed out. We inventoried the parts at the store. There are a few brushed off, or broken off, but everything seemed to be intact. What intrigued me was, it says here, if you can see, made in USSR. And for those that don't know, the USSR was the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, a communist dictatorship dominated by Russia. And they also controlled the Baltic states in Eastern Europe, Eastern Germany, Poland, and so forth, behind the Iron Curtain. They were under the boot of dictatorship. The Soviet Union fell in 1989, 1990, somewhere in there. And a lot of the countries, the Eastern European countries shook off the chains of Soviet domination, and they're now thriving democracies, part of the European Union, many of them, and many are also NATO members. So, a bit of history there for you. This aircraft, as you can see, it's bad. It's mean. It's cool. It's one of the coolest aircraft that came out of World War II, along with P-38 Lightning and Mosquito. This is a really cool kit. I had a friend in high school. We modeled together, built models together, and had a lot of fun. I went off to college at Colgate in New York. He went to USC, and later on Caltech, and went to work for Lockheed Martin, first as a project manager, and now he's like way up in the aerospace development. We're both near retirement. I'm retired already. He's way smarter than me. And anyways, yeah, quite a few years ago we got together. I have family in California, and down there fairly often, and he comes back up here to visit his family. And we were sitting around just kind of, chewing the fat, and he wasn't allowed to talk about his work. All I knew was that he worked at Lockheed Martin in some sort of upper management position, design and engineering, that kind of thing. That's all I knew. That's all he could say. He could never talk about his work. There were places he wasn't allowed to go. So really top secret stuff. But yeah, we were chatting away, and went back to the old modeling days, and he told me that this aircraft was what inspired him to become an aerospace engineer. So you never know when you're young what might turn you on, what might inspire you, and spur you on to give you a great career. So I'll just open it up quickly. We did inventory the parts. There's a lot of parts. A lot of them are off the screws. Smells like an old book when you open it. It's been sitting on a shelf a long time. And this is made by a company called Novo in the USSR at the time. So in the instructions here, It's in multiple languages. Spanish, Norwegian, Italian, French. And I think this kit was from 1977. And again, just because it gets old doesn't mean it's no good. There's some really good old kits. So you'll see here the instructions are pretty simple. A bit more than one page. These are 12 steps altogether. And it gives you tips on painting and so on and so forth. Decals look pretty old. I don't know if they'll still work, but if not, I can get aftermarket ones. That's the other thing about decals and parts. Save extra ones. Lots of kits have extra parts, extra decals, and save them. You never know when you might need them. Extra parts and sprues you can practice painting on. If you're not sure how a mix of colors is going to turn out, paint a bit of sprue and let it dry, and it'll give you, you can see what the color's like. You can also try layering, different kinds of layers and so on and so forth. So that's that. We'll get to that later at another time. I'll be doing videos on all the builds on all these kits. So alright, so those two were $9.99 each. These two were $4.99 each, plus tax. This is Canada. And I'm going to build one of these two first. I haven't quite decided yet. I want to look inside and see what we've got. Alright, so first we've got now we've got the Matchbox kit here. And in the 1950s, 60s, and into the 70s, Matchbox was really big in die-cast cars, model cars, and trucks. And then Hot Wheels came along, and that kind of wiped them out. I think they do still make, you know, collectible die-cast models and stuff like this, but no more plastic models. Long done gone. This kit was from 1983. So we'll take it out. Everybody's a little different. For Matchbox, this is the difficulty level. Circle 2 out of 4 means it's easy to medium difficulty. So it'll be a good kit for a beginner. Others do like a level 4, level 5 kind of thing, numbered levels or whatever the case may be. But it's good to know. And it says it's molded in 3 colors. And gives you the paint scheme on the back of the box. So, here we go. Transparency's here. Everything looks good. No flash. No scratches, no breakage. Good stuff. The black sprue parts, propeller, wheels, nose cap, seats for the pilots, all that stuff, bombs. Four sprues altogether. Green sprue, the wings. There's the figures. They're pretty small, but I'll try and paint them. Again, there looks like very little flashing. Which is good because it can be difficult taking off the flashing for small, delicate parts. And then here's the fuselage, the engine nacelles, and the cowlings. Decals are here. Again, not sure if they'll be any good, but again, we can get aftermarket stuff where I can take something from another kit. Okay. Different manufacturers do things different ways, and one of the interesting things is to see that kits from different countries, it gives you an indication of how the people who made it think. You might be surprised, but different people from different countries have different thought processes for whatever reason. I'm not saying one's good or one's not good. I'm just saying they get to the same conclusion, but they take a sure different path. So, but the Matchbox models and Airfix too. One of their great attributes is that they're simple. So you get a little description. The photograph's not that good, but it was kind of the style back then. Instructions on details, painting, so on and so forth. Paints you're going to need. And here's the instructions. 12 steps. Ding ding, ding 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 ding, ding ding. Simple. Easy to assemble, I hope. I expect everything fits. Plastic looks like new. So there you go. It's good too because it exercises your mind when you have to kind of learn and interpret. In a way, it's kind of like a language. You have to learn and interpret different kinds of instructions that are laid out differently, and so forth. So it's good for your brain too, which is a big reason I love this hobby, because my brain needs all the help it can get. Alright, so that's that one. I'll put this away. Tuck the decals in there. Carefully put that stuff back. Slide the instructions in. And that gets set aside. Last one. You can see the box is kind of bashed up, but I rattled it. Nothing rattled around. This one's an Italeri. Focke-Wulf 190D-9. This was an Interceptor. It would go up both after fighters and bombers to defend the Nazi airspace. A little description here. This one here, that's the English. Put it on the side here, model number. This kit was from 1978. So let's take a look. There we go. Always check the box. Oh, and here's one thing, you get it with all hobbies, with all kinds of things. Somebody's always complaining about something. Some people really don't like this type of box. Alright? They like the kind of box where you lift it off and you see everything all inside, nice and neat, which is fine. I leave it up to the manufacturer to decide the best way to package their products. And this one was obviously packaged well because it's lasted all this time with no damage. Okay, so we've got okay, we've got 3 sprues. Here's the transparencies. This one has a little stand, so that's kind of cool. You can put wheels down on the shelf, or you can put wheels up on the stand. Kind of neat. There's the fuselage, propeller, cowling, figure. There's the figure. Some of the cockpit assembly. Very little flashing. Everything looks pretty clean. 3rd sprue, wings, wheels, bombs, landing gear. And that's it. Same here with the decals. I don't know if they're going to work, but I'll deal with that when the time comes. So here's the instructions. A lot follow the same kind of format. Here we've got photograph. It's one of our local children moving by thinking that they're cool. Little description. They give you full technical data of the actual aircraft. Size, speed, all that kind of stuff. Weight, empty. Get an inventory of the sprues, the usual attention stuff. And here we go. Here's the instructions. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Simple. We're going to build this one first. As far as paint goes, like for the Matchbox one, everything's here on the back. Colors you need, as you can see, it's just a few colors. And shows you how to do, how to paint it. When we get to that, we'll show you the techniques. And then this also on the side of the box gives you a couple different other paint schemes and different models too. So okay, so that's that. We're going to build this first, probably in 2 videos. Video number 1 will be the actual build, and video number 2 will be paint and decaling. There's not a lot of painting on the inside to do with this, just the cockpit. So we might do that as part of the build. But for the most part, we'll wait till we're done to paint it. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. Looking forward to it. Here's a nice touch. Like I said, there's a little stand here. Look at the stand. Look at the logo. The stand is made like the logo. Kind of cool. Probably only Italians would do that. They're so stylish. Okay, so that's that. That's it for today. Again, I apologize for difficulties with the sound. I may have to consult an outside source. But in the meantime, I hope it doesn't blast your ears out if a commercial happens to come on in the middle of it. Alright, so next video you'll see will be the FD190D9 build, and you can probably expect to see that within the next 2 to 3 days. Thanks to all my subscribers, thanks to my viewers. If you like what you see, click like, subscribe, and ding the bell so you get notified of new videos. There's going to be quite a few coming on stream soon. Alright, again, thank you very much for visiting my channel. I hope you find it helpful, and I hope this helps to expand the interest for beginners as well as older folks who might be just starting back in the hobby. Thanks again.